What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another financial pearl. If you've ever seen Pinocchio, there's a cricket in that movie that says, let your conscience be your guide. And today we're going to talk not about your conscience, but about your budget and letting your values be your guide. So let's dive in. This is an interesting subject because budgeting is often something we have all kinds of feelings about. And this isn't about like how to budget specifically. This is more about how to think about your budget differently that makes it feel less like, no, I can't do this, and no, I can't go shopping, and no, I have a limit here. And more about, hey, I care about these things and I want to put my money where I care about it.
Totally. We just finished up an awesome financial wellness workshop with the local tech startup here in Baltimore. And we asked people to put in the chat box, what's the one word you associate with budgeting? And there were a few people that were like eye-opening, enlightening, things like that, right? Which I love. But there were also so many answers that was like tedious, nerve-wracking, right? Things like that, which is
stressful.
Totally understandable, right? Because we've been taught to think that budgeting is such a constraint. Like we're putting ourselves in a box, and that box means that we have to say no to all these things that we want to do, right? And it doesn't feel good to say no. Yep. So we're here to help you think about how you can turn budgeting from a no into a yes, to choose what are the crucial things that you're going to get the most bang for your buck in terms of return on happiness from your money, and then how to really just eliminate all the other noise, eliminate all the other distractions, and focus your money and energy and time into the things that are going to bring you the most satisfaction.
Yeah, and as you go about this, you know, our goal is always to make these videos 10 minutes or less where you get a lot of value very quickly. So we're happy to hear some feedback. If you want certain subjects covered, have certain questions, send them our way. But for now, we're talking about these budget values. So what you'll see on the screen here in a moment is that we've got 9 total core values. And they're not like scientifically derived. They're just something simple that will help you get clear. So we've got 9 of them here. And your job is to take a list and go 1 to 9. When you can get all the way down to 9, and you might find it hard to pick your 1, just as hard as you might find it to discover your 9. So go through this list. Let's go top to bottom and just make sure you understand what the categories mean and how you can think about them.
So quality food, right? I guess it's important to clarify that none of these things are any better or worse than others, right? Yeah. It's purely just what you care about. Like you see a nice car, nice house. I feel like if you follow our channel a lot, you might think that we might vilify that, right? The traditional keeping up with the Joneses is like gotta have a nice car, nice house. But you don't have to have an expensive house to have a quality house, right? Yeah. You can have a tiny house with a big kitchen. There's a great Alfred Hitchcock quote that says, happiness is a small house with a big kitchen.
Yeah, dude.
My dude.
I love that.
So,
I also say that like, if you want a nice house or a big house, because that's what you want, you're not keeping up with the Joneses, you're keeping up with the insert your last name. So it is very much about your values, not what the world projects as your values. And these will just help you get a little bit more clear. So you got quality food.
Quality food, right? You care about investing in good ingredients, right? Your body, you care about putting good stuff into your body. Technology, right? Whether that's for hobbies, you're a photographer, you're a musician, right? Whatever it is, you care about investing in technology because it's a way to, find your happiness through what you like to do. Social outings, right? What better way is there to really get joy and fulfillment from being around those we love, care about?
Yeah, I think social outings is a big one for me. Like we get so much value. I get so much value out of being out and about. So I put a lot of tokens in my social outing jar so that I can go enjoy that.
Yeah.
Another one is food and drinks out. So this, I think, a little bit different than quality ingredients, right? This is about experiencing new food or hitting up that local restaurant that you love, or
morning coffee.
Morning. Oh man, that's a big line item for a lot of people, right?
But if that's your ritual, if that's your
big time,
the thing that helps you focus into your day, right, is stopping by the local coffee shop and getting your latte, whatever it is, go for it.
Yeah, in a lot of conversations with entrepreneurs, right, they feel often very beat down by the narrative. It's like, stop buying lattes, save that $5, and that $5 might be your rent, right? Like that's where you get Wi-Fi and do that. Like that's changed a lot in the last couple of years, but if that's where you get rent or it's part of your ritual, like rock and roll. The next one we got is clothes and apparel. If you like the look, you like the gear, you like the swag, it's all fine. Put that as a line item. It's very, very simple and self-explanatory.
Car, house, we talked about that. hobbies, again, doesn't have to be an expensive hobby, right? Hobbies are a fine line because it's like, for example, like I love making music, and it's a great way to keep my discretionary spending down, because it's like I don't feel the need to like go out and spend a bunch of money on bars when I can have just as much, if not more fun, just in my bedroom, you know, in my little Zen space making music. But I spend, you know, I don't really buy many clothes, but I'll probably drop $2 or $3 grand a year on new music gear, right? So it can become it can twist on you.
Yeah, and hobbies as a category can be interesting because we may not know what those hobbies are. You might not know what like I've struggled with, like, what are my hobbies? Because a lot of what I love to do has become a business or workplace. So if you feel like hobbies is an area that you want to put more time into, making a line item can be very, very helpful. Like if you want to go out and learn new things, putting the money first can give you a lot of freedom, especially if you're defensive with your money, to say, hey, I've got $300 a month to go learn new things and find a new hobby. Go try building pottery, try glass blowing, try painting, try all those things. But if you want to create it and don't have it yet, find it with the budget.
So the real takeaway here is that, I've been going through this development a lot myself. Please let me know if you can relate. Like with my time, right? I often think that I have way more time to do more things than I really do, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard to do all the things, like to take care of your body, to cook for yourself, to, but invest time into mental health, to do a really good job in building your career, right? To invest in your relationships, friends, families, partners, right? Kids. There's so many important things that are demanding our time. And I think that we are deluding ourselves. When I say we, I mean me. I'm getting to this point where I'm finally being like, wait a minute, like I actually don't have time for all these things. Yep. I'm much better served by just choosing 3 or 4, really key priorities beyond the absolute essentials like income and, sleep and whatnot, that I just want to go deeper with, right? So narrow and deep, as opposed to, I'd say for the better part of my adult life, I've gone wide and shallow, and it creates this space where you're like, you're never present because you're constantly thinking about like what else you could be doing or should be doing. Yeah. And that's with my time, but it's the exact same thing with your money.
Yeah, and you never move the needle, right? You're just kind of keeping status quo, and as you go about determining your values, really laser in, be very mindful of what are your top 3 or 4 so that you can isolate your budget in that direction, right? The budget should be a demonstration of your values. So if I were to look at your budget, whether you have one or in the midst of creating one, we're happy to help. We've got a great tool to help you. But if you're in the midst of creating one and you're all about quality food should be a big line item. That's okay. That's the point of expressing our values with our money. And notice that's different than expressing our money with our values, right? The values determine where our money goes, not the other way around. And if you're all about, let's say, clothes and apparel, like make that a big line item, make that something powerful that motivates you to work hard, to feel satisfied and feel fulfilled. It should not feel wrong. And taking the time to be clear will help that. If you're unclear and you're, every month it flip-flops, or you're constantly over budget in areas that you don't feel aligned with, this will help you not only see that, but it will help you make the necessary changes so that you can live more in alignment with your values.
So let us know, what are your top 3 values? What are the 3 things that you can spend your discretionary money on that will bring the most reward to you? Not anybody else, not what social media tells you, not what your parents tell you, to you. Let us know. And what are your lowest 3, right? It's just as important to identify what's not serving us. You could think about this with relationships in our lives too. Like we all know 1 or 2 people that our life would probably be a little bit better if we just set some bigger boundaries with them, right? So what's not serving you with where your money is going? We'd love to hear that.
I also love how you said discretionary and not disposable income.
I know. I learned that from you.
It's not disposable. It's not disposable income. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining this Wellness Pro. See you next week.